Dear student, we will continue this chapter, that is Kingdom Protista, chapter number 7. Chapter number that is Kingdom Protista is continue. So far we have discussed the plant-like protist in detail. The introduction of the Kingdom Protista and the plant-like protist, that is LG, in detail. The third type of organism, they are fungus-like protist. Fungus-like protist. Fungus-like protists are those true eukaryotes which resembles those apart fungi, but they are not true fungi, because true fungi, they are included in the Kingdom Fungi. As I told you, the member of Kingdom Protista, they are mostly excluded organism. So one of the excluded organism are fungus-like protist. It means that they are excluded from the Kingdom Fungi that include true fungi. Fungus-like protists, they are excluded organisms which are excluded from the Kingdom Fungi because due to different features. Some of the features they have common with those of true fungi, but majority of the features they are totally different from the true fungi. So this is the reason of their exclusion from the Kingdom Fungi, and they are placed in the Kingdom Protista and treated as fungus-like protist. So fungus-like protists, that include two groups, that is Myxomycetes and Oomycetes. Myxomycetes and Oomycetes, they are fungus-like protist. They have some characteristic of what fungi, but majority of the characteristic they are different from true fungi. So this is the reason behind their exclusion from Kingdom Fungi, which include true fungi. So let's talk about the fungus-like protist. Fungus-like protist, first of all we will talk about the Myxomycota. Myxomycota is a group of what fungus-like protists. The member, they are called Myxomycetes. Myxomycetes, they are the member, and the group is called Myxomycota. Myxomycota, they can be seen on damp places. Whenever there is damp places, whenever there is leaf litter, whenever there is logs or any damp places or leaf litter or logs, these fungus-like protists can be seen in the form of what? In the form of black heads-like structure, black heads-like structure, or white creamy like structure, often attached with the leaf blades of grasses. So it is a common observation that on damp places, on leaf litter, on where there is logs mean cutting wood. So black heads like structure, white creamy like structure, leaf which can be seen on the leaf blades of grasses, especially at the morning time. So this indicate what? This indicate the growth of what? These Myxomycota, which are slimy masses. In simple words, they are slimy masses. slimy masses can be seen, and these slimy masses, they are in the form of black heads like structure, white creamy like structure, or other structure that is another color, that is purple color, white color, red color, different color of slime masses can be seen on these places, that is damp places, especially the turf. Turf mean grass cover, grass cover, or wherever there is leaf litter, decomposed organic matter is present, or logs, that is cutting wood. So these slimy masses can be seen having different of different colors. So these slimy masses of different colors, they indicate the growth of what? These myxomycetes. Myxomycetes, they are commonly known as slime molds. It is also called slime molds. It is also called slime molds. Slimy होते हैं, slime, sticky, transparent, and molds, that is the woolly growth of what? Fungi, they are called molds. So these myxomycetes, they are also called as slime molds or slimy masses, which can often be seen on these damp places, leaf litter, logs of, and having different color, that is black in color, white in color, gray in color, purple in color, or off-white in color. So these masses indicates the growth of what? These fungus like protists, that is Myxomycota or myxomycetes. The slime molds, they are unique because they are dual life cycle. They show dual life cycle. By dual life cycle, we mean they at one stage of their life cycle they behave like animal. On the other stage of their life cycle, they behave like fungi. So they are dual in their life cycle. On one stage of their life cycle, they behave like animal like feeding habit. They show animal like feeding habit. On the other hand, they show fungus like habit. So that is why these slimy molds, they are different from true fungi, because true fungi never show the dual life cycle. These slimy molds or slimy masses or myxomycetes show dual life cycle. On one stage of their life cycle, they behave like animal. Their feeding habit is animal like, that is Plasmodium. The word Plasmodium is used for this life cycle. While on the other hand, they show fungus like habit because they produce what? Sporangia, and sporangia contain spores in them. So this habit indicates that they are fungus like organism. So the life cycle of these slimy molds, they are dual in nature. Dual in nature. Now what is Plasmodium? Plasmodium is a large cell. Plasmodium is a large cell, just like this. Plasmodium is a large unicellular cell. It never become multicellular. This is the Plasmodium, that is the slimy mass which never become multicellular. It always remain unicellular mass, and this large cell is also called supercell. Supercell, which contain different many diploid nuclei. These are the different diploid nuclei. Diploid nuclei, and this is a unicellular single cell. Plasmodium is a single cell, large cell, supercell, and it contains many diploid nuclei in them, and it never become multicellular because there is no cytokinesis. There is no cytokinesis in them. This Plasmodium feed on what? Decaying organic matter. This Plasmodium feed on decaying organic matter. And this organic matter, decaying organic matter, contain different types of what? Nutrients in them, different types of bacteria, different types of fungi in the form of yeast in them. When it obtains its nourishment from decomposed organic matter, so it increase in size. As I told you, this increase in size but never become multicellular. The number of nuclei also increases. When the local supply, so at this stage it behave like animal because it form pseudopodia. These are the pseudopods. These are the pseudopods. Pseudopods, they are the finger-like extraction, and by pseudopodia they get its nourishment when it grow on decomposed organic matter. So at this stage, the feeding habit of this supercell is animal like. In dual life cycle, we have discussed that in slimy molds or myxomycota, one stage come that at which this supercell behave like animal like feeding habit. So this is called Plasmodium. Never be confused with that Plasmodium which is the causative agent of what? Malaria. So when the local food supply diminishes, so this supercell finally shrinks, and then it produce what? An erect branch. This erect branch finally produce sporangia at its tip, and sporangia produce sporogen. This is the sporangiophore, which is the erect branch, and this globose structure is called sporangia. Singular is called sporangium, and inside sporangia many spores they are present, and these spores they are haploid spores. Later on it become haploid spores. So at this stage the slime molds or the member of myxomycota behave like a fungus. At this stage it behave like animal-like because of its feeding habit. It is called animal-like habit. But whenever it produces sporangia having spores in them, so at this stage it behave like a fungus. That is why we can say that slime molds are the member of myxomycota, they show dual life cycle, and because of this characteristic they are excluded from the true fungi, because true fungi never exhibit, never shown this type of habit, that is dual life cycle, because they always produce sporangia and spores for the sake of their reproduction. When spores they are produced, so after the rupturing, after the maturation of sporangia, these spores they will be liberated. Spores will be fall on what? Suitable substratum, and again it will grow to produce a new mycelium. Just like this mycelium will grow on the decaying organic matter, utilize the nutrition from the decomposed organic matter of their habitat. When the local food supply diminishes, it will shrink and finally produce what? Sporangiophore, erect branches, then sporangia contains spores. In this way they will continue their life cycle. So this is all about the myxomycota or myxomycetes, commonly known as slime molds, because the body is consist of what? Slimy masses. Then second group of fungus like protist is oomycetes. Oomycetes, they are commonly known as aquatic fungi. Aquatic or water fungi, because they prefer they prefer moist places, or they are present in aquatic condition. So definitely they will be parasites. Some will be parasites, other will be saprophytes. Oomycetes, aquatic fungi, water fungi include two types of what? That is fungus like protists. One is parasite, which parasitize upon the living bodies, that is plants or animals, and the other they are saprophytes, which get its nourishment in the form of what? Dead organic matter from the dead bodies of plants or animals which is present in their habitat. There is certain similarities between and differences between the oomycetes and the true fungi. One of the similarities between oomycetes and the true fungi is that both possess cell wall in them. But the difference is that oomycete, the cell wall chemical composition is consist of what? Cellulose instead of what? Chitin, which is present in the cell wall of true fungi. The other difference is that they produce biflagellated zoospores, which are never produced by true fungi. So this is another reason of what? Their differences. Oomycetes, they are different from true fungi because the chemical composition of the oomycetes suggests that cell wall consists of cellulose instead of chitin. The other difference is the biflagellated zoospores, and another difference is the type of sexual reproduction, which is oogamous type of sexual reproduction. Oogamous type of sexual reproduction is that reproduction in which there are two gametes. One is the male gamete, which is always be motile. The other will be the female gamete, which is stationary or non-motile. So whenever a motile male gamete fertilize a non-motile female gamete, the type of fertilization is called oogamous type of fertilization. So these are the three main characteristics which are exhibited, which are shown by the member of oomycetes, which are totally different from true fungi, and this is the reason behind their exclusion from the kingdom fungi, which include true fungi. That is, cell wall is cellulosic in nature. They show motility in the form of biflagellated zoospores because they produce two types of zoospores. They are provided two types of flagella. One is the long flagellum, the other is the short flagellum, and the type of sexual reproduction is oogamous type of sexual reproduction. Although the oomycetes, they are originated from plastered bearing ancestor. Once they were placed in the kingdom Plantae, but then they were excluded from the kingdom Plantae because they are achlorophyllous. They lost their plastered in the time of evolution. Then they were placed in the kingdom Fungi, but later on it was revealed from their chemical composition of their cell wall and other features that they are different from the fungi. So that is why they are excluded from the true fungi and included in the kingdom Protista, because kingdom Protista include all those organisms which are not fit on the definition of other kingdom, that is Plantae, animals and fungi. So the reason behind their placement is that they are different from true fungi. As I told you that it includes parasite and saprophytes. So one of the parasitic member is Phytophthora infestans. The representative example of parasitic member of oomycete is Phytophthora infestans. That is, the This is the name of a fungus belong to the oomycetes. The causative agent of what? Lead blight of potato. Lead blight of potato. This is the name of the fungus, this is the name of the disease, and what is the host? Host is the potato plant. Potato plant. This Phytophthora infested fungus have a history. Have a history because in 18, what is the history of this fungus? Why it's have historic importance? Because in 1845 to 1847, this fungus is responsible for what? Famous Irish famine. Famine means the extreme scarcity of the food, availability of food is called famine. So because of this fungus, the famous Irish famine was caused in 1845 and 1847 because this fungus attack on the potato plant and destroy the potato plant on huge scales, and it caused a disease on the potato plant. This disease is known as lead blight of potato, and due to the lead blight of potato, the potato plants were destroyed on huge scale because the staple food of the Irish people was potato, and when potato was destroyed by this fungus by causing this disease, that is lead blight of potato, so millions of people starved to death and millions of people migrated to the neighboring country. So that is why this fungus have a history, because it was the causative agent of what? It is responsible for the Irish famine, which was caused by this fungus in Ireland. So the millions of people affected from this fungus, and millions of people leave their homeland and migrated to the neighboring country. So this is the history of this fungus. Now we will discuss about its life cycle, that how it completed life cycle. Little bit about the life cycle. Life cycle of Phytophthora infestans. Phytophthora infestans. Phytophthora infestans is a parasitic fungus. Its mycelium is the body of fungi, or thallus of fungi is called mycelium. Mycelium is aseptate. Aseptate means there is no septation. Aseptate means no septa, partition or chamber is present in the mycelium. Aseptate mycelium. Aseptate means no septa, no partition or no chamber is present. For example, this is a type of what? Mycelium, which is aseptate. There is no septa. There is no septa. And multinucleate. Multinucleate. Another feature is sinusotic. Sinusotic means multinucleate. Multinucleate, having many nuclei in them. These are the nuclei. So such type of mycelium is called sinusotic mycelium, which have different number of what? Nuclei in them, and no septa is present in the form of partition or chamber. Another feature is it is hyaline. Hyaline means transparent. Transparent means colorless. Colorless. The mycelium of Phytophthora infestans is hyaline, transparent or colorless, and it is intracellular. Intracellular means it is inside in the cell, inside in the host cell, inside in the cell or inside in the host cell, inside in the host cell. At the time of reproduction, it shows two types of reproduction. That is, one is reproduction is of two types. One is asexual reproduction, the other is sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, spores are formed. Spores are formed in sporangia. These spores liberate, and then these spores produce a new mycelium. A new mycelium. Mycelium will be always haplite in nature. While in the sexual reproduction, 6 gametes they are produced. 6 gametes will be produced. That is, two types of gamete. That is, male gamete and female gamete. Male gamete is called antheridium. Male gamete is called antheridium, while female gamete is called oogonium. Antheridium produce sperm, that is male sexual material, while oogonium produce eggs in them. These are in the form of what? Nucleus. The 6 gametes, they are in the form of what? Nucleus or nuclei. Both fuse together to produce zygote or oospore. Certain developmental changes occur. This zygote is diploid, and then this zygote produce what? Flagellated gametes. These gametes, they are provided with two types of what? Flagella, inserted anteriorly. One will be long, the other will be short flagella. They swim in water for a while, then they combine to produce what? A germ tube, and then they produce, this is called germ tube, and then this germ tube produce a new mycelium. New mycelium having haplite nuclei in them. In this way, Phytophthora infestans complete their life cycle. So this is all about the life cycle of Phytophthora infestans. It show two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction, the other is sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, spores are produced in sporangia. These spores liberated from the sporangia after their maturation, they produce new mycelium, which will always be haplite in nature. In sexual reproduction, 6 gametes they are involved, as shown in your textbook. See the diagram. 6 gametes, male 6 gamete is antheridium, female 6 gamete is oogonium. Antheridium produce male sexual material, that is sperm, in the form of nucleus, and the female structure is called oogonium, which produce eggs, which are also nucleus. Both fuse together, they form zygote or oospores. Oospores then produce what? Certain developmental changes occur. Flagellated gamete. These flagellated gametes swim in water with the help of what? Their flagella. After some time, they retract their flagella, take rest, then produce germ tube. This is called germ tube, and then a new mycelium is produced from this germ tube, and in this way they repeat their life cycle. Thank you.